The quarterly board meeting of Chen International Education was always a power play, but today's meeting felt different. I sat in my usual corner of our company's mahogany-lined boardroom, making final adjustments to my AI algorithm while my brother David showcased his latest acquisition of another failing traditional language school. As you can see, David gestured to his PowerPoint, our expansion into premium language centers continues. Unlike some alternative approaches, he shot me a pointed look. If they only knew that while they were planning to buy more brick-and-mortar schools, Microsoft executives have been practically living in my office, fighting over the rights to my AI language learning technology that had quietly revolutionized education. Speaking of alternative approaches, Dad cleared his throat. Sarah, perhaps you'd like to explain why you're still working on that phone app instead of helping with real business. I glanced at my laptop screen, where user statistics showed 50 million active learners mastering languages through my AI-powered platform, look.If, the same platform that would soon make headlines worldwide. The app is doing well, I said quietly, watching another million users join from South America. Well, David scoffed, you make cartoon characters teach languages. Meanwhile, I'm building an actual education empire. Do you know how many schools we acquired this quarter? I could have told them about our breakthrough AI that adapted to each learner's style, about the neural networks that could predict and prevent learning plateaus, about the bidding war between tech giants that would become public tomorrow. Instead, I took a sip of water and let them continue. Sarah, Mom tried diplomatically, your brother has worked so hard to expand the family business. These schools have been our legacy for 3 generations. A legacy you're ignoring, David added to play with chatbots and animated teachers. The board members shifted uncomfortably. They'd seen this dynamic before. The ambitious son following tradition, the daughter pursuing innovation. Actually, I started, but David interrupted. Let me show you some real numbers. He clicked to his next slide. We're in talks with Microsoft about implementing their enterprise education software across all our schools. I raised an eyebrow. Microsoft? Yes, Microsoft, he said condescendingly. Though I wouldn't expect you to understand enterprise-level deals. We're talking about real educational technology, not gamified apps. My phone buzzed. A message from Microsoft's CEO. Board approved full offer. $250 million cash plus earnout. Teams ready for global rollout. Your AI is transforming language education. Announcing tomorrow. Remember when she wanted investment from the company? David laughed. $10 million for her educational revolution. Thank God the board had sense. That $10 million would have bought 20% of look.If, now worth $50 million. But David had been too busy buying failing language schools to recognize true innovation. Dad nodded gravely. It's time to be serious, Sarah. Join the real business. These apps and games are the future of education. I tried again, but David spoke over me. The future is premium physical schools. In fact, my Microsoft meeting next week. Suddenly, every phone in the boardroom started chiming with notifications. David's presentation clicker clattered to the floor as he read the breaking news. Mom's jade bracelet clinked against the table. TechCrunch's headline said it all. Microsoft acquires revolutionary AI language platform for $250 million. Unknown developer transforms education. Sarah, Dad's voice shook. Why is your picture on Bloomberg? I opened my laptop, turning the screen to show them the Microsoft contract that would change everything. Sometimes, the best teachers aren't found in traditional classrooms. The boardroom's double doors swung open as Satya Nadella, Microsoft's CEO, walked in with his executive team. Behind them came something even more impressive. A group of students from different countries, all chatting fluently in languages they'd learned through look.If. Miss Sarah Chen. Satya smiled. Sorry to interrupt your board meeting, but we thought your family might want to see what your cartoon app really does. What? What is this? David stammered, his perfect presentation forgotten on the screen behind him. I stood up, opening my analytics dashboard on all the boardroom displays. This is the future of education, brother dear. Let me show you what real numbers look like. The screen's filled with real-time data. 50 million active users, 127 countries, 95% completion rate, statistics that made traditional language schools look like relics. look.If isn't just an app, I explained, watching my family's faces as they saw the truth. It's an adaptive AI system that creates personalized learning paths for each user. Those cartoon characters you mocked, they're powered by neural networks more sophisticated than anything in your premium schools. Dad gripped the edge of his chair. But our schools are teaching languages the same way they did 50 years ago, Sadia finished politely. Meanwhile, your daughter has created an AI that can predict and prevent learning obstacles before they occur. The results are unprecedented. One of the students stepped forward, a young girl from Brazil. I learned Mandarin in 3 months using look.If, she said in perfect Chinese. Traditional schools said it would take years. David frantically refreshed his phone's news feed. This can't be real. She works from a tiny office. That tiny office, Microsoft's head of AI added, has produced more successful language learners than all of Chen International's schools combined. Last month alone, look.If helped more people achieve fluency than your entire company has in 5 years. Mom found her voice. $250 million. For an app. For the future of global education, I corrected her, pulling up another document, the charter for our new foundation. Part of the Microsoft deal includes establishing a Global Learning Innovation Fund. We're providing grants to edtech developers creating accessible education solutions, especially those whose families think they're playing with apps. The first recipient? My niece Jenny, who'd been developing a VR math learning platform until David told her to stop wasting time with games. The integration starts tomorrow, Satya announced. Sarah will head our new educational AI division. And those enterprise software contracts you were hoping for. He turned to David. We'll be implementing look.If instead. The aftermath was spectacular. Chen International's traditional schools saw enrollment plummet as students switched to look.If. David's aggressive acquisition strategy backfired as the market shifted toward digital learning. My tiny office. It's now Microsoft's Global Education Innovation Center. We kept my original desk, displaying it with a plaque reading, "Where Learning Leaped Forward." The birth of educational AI. Last week, a young developer pitched me her AI-powered music education platform. Her family wants her to teach piano lessons instead. I wrote her a check on the spot. The memo line read, "For those who dare to teach differently." David, he now runs our family company's digital transformation division, reporting directly to me. His first task? Learning 6 languages through look.If to understand the product. Dad finally came around when he saw his grandchildren learning Mandarin through my cartoon characters, faster than he'd learned English in traditional schools. Yesterday, during Microsoft's Education Summit, someone asked if I ever imagined this success when I was just making language apps. I looked at my screen, where look.If had just launched in its 130th country, then at David's office across the hall, where he was struggling with the app's advanced Korean lessons. Actually, I replied, adjusting my Microsoft executive badge, I did. Some people just couldn't see that the future of education isn't in brick and mortar. It's in pixels and algorithms that adapt to every learner's needs. After all, the sweetest revenge isn't just success. It's success that helps millions learn, grow, and connect across languages and cultures, even if some people need a $250 million wake-up call to understand the lesson.